Hey guys, this is Mike, another King Arthur Legends Rise video. We've got Revenant Merlin in the game, and she looks pretty cool. She's a specialized in counterattack nullification, which is kind of a pretty cool situation there. I'm trying to think, this would be obviously a counter to Aine in some way, so let's take a peek at her kit. So starting with her passives, we'll look at our first passive here. When using skill 2, 100% chance to trigger change the weather to squall, 100% chance to grant steed favors amplification, which is a vigor increase, and then 100% chance to grant each steed favors ally effect accuracy. So these are going to be going alongside the steed's favor. So running her alongside Lancelot, Merlin, also Hild, and some of those folks are going to be a great way to go to get those extra benefits for the steed's favor. On her second passive here, when using skill 3, she has a 100% chance to grant each ally defense increase for 2 turns, as well as endurance increase for 2 turns, and then 100% chance to grant each storm element ally call the storm for 2 turns. Call the storm is when attacking. If target is a frost element, inflict damage 50% of attack. This attack ignores 20% of defense, so that's actually going to be pretty big. The weird part is it's kind of conditional because it's only going to work for storm element allies when they're attacking frost element enemies. So that's kind of weird, but it's a little precise. If we move over to her third passive, when using a skill while the weather is squall, 100% chance to grant each ally effect resistance increase. That's the first one. 100% chance to grant each ally hit accuracy increase for 2 turns, and 100% chance to remove 1 debuff dot, abnormal status, or recovery disruption. Which is actually kind of cool. That looking at the recovery disruption, looking at like steel flank pinvid, something like that could have been a great way to extend some of the runs in there if we had somebody that could actually remove recovery disruption. So that could be a potential thing. This is when she's completely booked out, so all the cooldowns looks like kind of are affected as you level them up. But kind of a pretty unique situation to her kit. It seems pretty solid. She's starting with her Storm Relic here, and on her A1, she attacks one enemy 3 times, totals damage 93%, 35% of the last hit to inflict stun. For 1 turn on an A1 is actually pretty strong. 35% is a little weak, but figure 1 out of 3 chances she's going to stun somebody with her A1. So pretty decent and fair crowd control. On her A2 here, you got attack 1 enemy 4 times. Total damage is pretty good. And we also have a 100% chance for the last hit to inflict enhanced storm calling wing beats for 2 turns, and damage taken increase 1 for 2 turns. So this is the part of her kit where we're starting to negate the counter attack by 80%. And then when hit, 100% chance to heal the attacker by 40% of an attacker's max HP, 100% chance to grant the attacker attack increase 2 for 1 turn, and then 100% chance to grant the attacker crit rate increase 2 for 1 turn. Sometimes when reading this I get a little confused. So it says when hit, it's going to heal the attacker. So I kind of feel like these are things that are going to be happening to the enemy. So we're going to be healing them for 40% of their max HP, putting attack increase and crit rate increase. Alright, it just takes a second to read through it. So this is a debuff we're landing on the enemy. So then when we attack that enemy, we are the attacker. So we are getting these benefits once we land this debuff on an enemy. But it is a single target on this debuff. So first thought comes to mind is you put this on Aine in the arena, and you can get through all those counterattack Aine teams big time. That would be a pretty big win there. So that's going to be pretty strong. Move over to her A3 here. We got a 100% independent chance to grant each ally crit rate increase, ally pierce increase, and 100% chance to grant each storm ally realm of the wind for 2 turns. And realm of the wind is going to remove 1 debuff from self when hit. So definitely a solid support champion. It looks like her A2 probably can do some damage, being a 4-hitter with some pretty good attack percentage, but really she's there to be a support champion to really get through. It sounds like the Aine meta is why she was actually made. So in the event dungeon, we get 200% for using her. You also have Hild in there if you picked up Hild last time, as well as Vivian. It's not putting Lancelot or Merlin in here, which is kind of strange, but we don't get added benefits anyway, but we can use them. I usually end up with Morgan in there anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But let's jump over into Lake Avalon and get her on the account here. We're going to start out with our normal summons of 10. Still looking for that last copy of Ralph to get all of my rares completely maxed out. We are going to get a rare, so that's pretty good. Let's see if we got, before we do any special summons, I don't know if I have 10 or not, but I do want to make sure I get Caliber and Arthur on my wish list. That's one of the changes that came through. We got a K, so a lot of tokens for the shard shop there. But we're going to jump over here. We're going to go into, I think we're probably going to take Clarison off. I did get a couple copies of her, so her chivalry stepped up a little bit. And we're going to get Caliber and Arthur on there. So that we can get him up to chivalry, probably chivalry level 8 or so. I actually need to look at his chivalries, because I think most of his kits actually unlocked at chivalry level 5, so we're really just picking up stats for him. But he is on a majority of my teams, so those stats are going to be super useful. And we do have 11 of those, so we'll pull 10. We're not guaranteed pity or anything like that, but we'll give it a shot, see if we get lucky. And then we'll take a peek at those rate-up summons and get Caliber and Merlin. And then get Revenant Merlin on the account. When I read Revenant Merlin, I actually thought it was going to be a different variation of Merlin, just like Caliber and Arthur. But that might just be because I'm not naive and I don't know what Revenant Merlin, I've never heard the character before. So, and again, with the rate up summons, we have these guys down here with the added talismans and tomes that are going to help you along the way. They're just added perks for summoning. So let's take a quick peek on who else is in this. We have Merlin, Sigrun, Vivian, and Charlotte. Out of those, I think Charlotte's probably the one I'm least excited about. I'd probably be most excited about Merlin or Vivian there. Sigrun does have some niche uses. I just have never really gotten around to building her and making her effective for my team. But hopefully we can get one or two of these guys along the way before we get to Revenant Merlin here. So we'll get started with that first 10 pull here. And so we're going to have to purchase 11. So we definitely have the rubies to do that, which is pretty good. It'll also get me stacked up for that last memory stone, for the legendary memory stone for the other event. So there's a Turin there. I think she was the only rare we got, so everybody else is going to be token, or everybody's token, even Turin's tokens. So hopefully we don't go all the way to pity. We'd like to get a legendary along the way, but that's all right. We get a new legendary on the account today, so that's pretty exciting. Ideally, we could pick up a Ralph along the way as well. Hey, there he is. Look at, ask and you shall receive. So we got our talismans there. We got our Ralph. He's the last one. So now all we need is Bodwin's Flame Relic, and all of our rares are completely done, and below. So that's pretty big time. So I'm pretty excited about that, actually. So let's go ahead, and we're gonna get a legendary this time. I can feel it. Oh, I don't know. I thought I felt it. I don't know what I felt. All right, we got an Arduin and a Urians there, and let's see about getting a little bit of lucky here. No gold right out the gate. Maybe we get a little extra flex. Nope, not on that one. Not on that one. We're getting closer, though. A couple rares. Let's see here. So now every rare we pull is actually tokens, so there's not really anything that we're looking for specifically. Let's see if we can get a little bit of luck. We'd love to get one prior to pity. That'd be really good. It has been a long time since I've gotten a multiple legendary pull on the account. I think it's only happened once or twice on this account. Another Ralph, so that's pretty good. He's all dialed in. And we'll get that last chivalry on him. And then here we go. So we're going to go ahead and pay 1,500 rubies. And this one is taking us to pity. So this will get us there. Hopefully maybe one extra copy of her or a different one. It would be awesome. I feel like the animation kind of stepped up a little bit. So that was actually the first. It didn't take us all the way to pity. What are you plotting? And we got Revenant Merlin. So there she is. So she's a pretty cool looking champ. Glad to have her on the account. It didn't take us all the way to pity. We actually got that on our, what was that, our 51st pull. So we're probably 9, already 9 towards our next pity. So depending on what's going on, maybe try to go for a chivalry or two. But let's take a peek at her chivalries and see how they measure up. So this is going to be kind of, so as we were reading through all those things, that was her maxed out kit. So we kind of already know all the things that she does. This is just when she picks them up. But this first chivalry is pretty strong at the start of the battle. We're going to pick up effect accuracy increase for all allies for the rest of the battle as long as the weather is squall. And then 100% chance for Steed's favored allies to get damage dealt increase as long as the weather is squall. So, and she has that ability in her kit to change the weather to squall. You run her alongside a Morgan. She might be turning the weather to, I think when she's below 50% health, she changes the weather. So running them alongside each other could kind of fight yourself a little bit. To start a battle, get a 100% chance to inflict that enhanced storm calling wing beats, which is the anti counter. So that's pretty good at the start of battle. That means you don't have to build her fast for that to go on, but it's going to be one random enemy for one turn. But it cannot be resisted, so that's pretty good. But you're gonna have to get pretty dumb lucky to get that on Anya in order to beat those Anya teams in Arena. So on her third Chivalry, we got Eye of the Storm additional skill effect, and then we're gonna get Call of the Storm for 2 turns on Storm Element allies. This attack ignores 20% defense. That's where we're picking that up. And then on that fourth Chivalry, we're getting the removal of the debuffs, dots, abnormal status, and recovery disruptions. Which is pretty big. And then on that fifth Chivalry, we're getting the it strengthens Storm Calling Wing Beats to enhance Storm Calling Wing Beats. So on Chivalry level 2, we're already on enhanced Storm Calling Wing Beats, so that it does it at the beginning of battle on a random enemy for 1 turn. But when you get to Chivalry level 5, that's when it changes Storm Calling Wing Beats to enhance Storm Calling Wing Beats. So if you're looking to pick her up and actually use her in Arena against Anya with any amount of certainty, I think you'd probably need to get her to Chivalry level 5 before she's going to be effective. Otherwise, you have a 25% chance of landing it on Anya at the beginning of battle. So as we move past Chivalry 5 into Chivalry 6, 7, let me click on them here, 8, 9, and 10, we're all picking up stats. So she's built like Hild and Caliber and Arthur, where her entire kit is unlocked at Chivalry level 5, which I think is actually kind of nice they do that now. A lot of the early champions, they don't unlock completely until Chivalry level 8, which is a lot of copies of that champion before you get them fully unlocked. But all these extra stats obviously are going to help her out, just be a better champion for you. But her entire kit will be unlocked on Chivalry level 5 instead of Chivalry level 8, which I think is pretty cool. So jumping over to the events to see what we got going on, we got the hero event where you can test the skills. Then you have her event dungeon where you get added folks. I'm going to have to build her out and see about using her. This one here is a little bit, it's kind of weird. So you get power up achievement event, which I thought was going to be a little bit like Brennan, where you start maxing her out. We're not doing that. What we're doing instead is when you get her to Chivalry level 10, you get all these goodies, which if you're getting her to Chivalry level 10, I guess these guys here would be something you'd value. But if you have that many rate up summons on your account, I can't imagine any of these rewards are really going to be super exciting for you. Getting her to Chivalry level 5, you do get an extra copy of her. So that would get you to Chivalry level 6. But outside of Chivalry level 5, it's a pretty whale event as far as what's going on. And then they are giving you this cool little border if you happen to go all the way and take her to Chivalry level 10. Got a new equipment engraving perks event coming into the game. Probably won't be too hard to complete this. If you're going in and dismantling the gear you're not using, you should be able to zip through and probably knock that out. I haven't really looked at how many of those tokens you really get. So we have moved into the half-year anniversary event. Which is coming in, and we've got using stamina, you get points, and that's pretty much all you're doing. So using stamina, you get all the way up to some pretty cool rewards in here. Some gold, that's great, keep us out of Gorgos. Some special summons, and then some relic summons, and also these guys. Not the selector, the random ones, but still something for the account. And go all the way up to 3,000. So if you're playing the game actively, you'll probably get this knocked out in the first couple days. So in the raid bounty, we're going into clearing the fortress of Arsalis, where we get our keepsakes, which I personally could spend some time in there. Frankly, for this as a reward, probably not going to spend a lot of time in there right now, just because stamina can go so many other places. So that's kind of unfortunate for those guys there. I do have something to talk about regarding my castle. We'll break out into that in a minute. Complete Hall of Conquerors with her on the team. Got all these guys, so just some different things to work through. Destroy 26 hearts. I'm assuming that's cumulative, not in a single go. And then, or no, maybe that is in a single go. Destroy 50 hearts in Hall of Conquerors using Revenant Merlin. So you might have to do 50 all at once. Hopefully it's cumulative. Then you have all this damage here for cumulative. So you might try running her through your teams before you get your team set up. This one is in Syrian specifically, so we get make sure you get all of her cumulative damage on Syrian before you set your team, just in case she's not on the primary team that you're running. clan activities event. We got some goodies going on in there for participating in the clan. And then we still have the 6 days left on the old event, which is I actually just maxed out because I spent some crystals actually getting Revenant Merlin on the account. So we'll grab that, put that on there, got that guy all maxed out. So I want to talk about upgrading by castle. I'm currently trying to upgrade from castle 18 to castle 19. And it's going to take me 15 days. I think it was a total of 17 days. But I think I figured out why. We got one guy right here, and I feel like he's not working with any kind of urgency. It's very lackluster performance. No wonder it's going to take 17 days to build me a castle when I got one guy sitting here working on it. It's kind of ridiculous. But I digress. Let's take a quick peek in the item bag, see if I have anything worth pulling. Not really. But I always like to do this when I'm on video, just in case I get something amazing. But yeah, I think that's about what I got for you today. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, pulling Revenant Merlin on the account. Over the next couple days, I'll play with her, kind of get a feel for her kit, try to press on and see about how to build her, and kind of go through with some different thoughts in that space. But right out of the gate, my very first thought is she is a Counter-Strike 2 Anya specifically for Arena. I don't really know if there's going to be a lot of other places that she's super useful, but I could be wrong. I could absolutely find a spot where it's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, and pull her in and see great success on the account. And just an FYI, everything did reset today, so we got Forbidden Dungeon. We can start plowing our way through there, getting all those juicy rewards. Kind of an exciting time to be in the game. You see a lot of progress this first kind of several days after a reset, so it's pretty cool. Super excited to have a new character in the game back to back. Great job, Netmarble. Thank you guys so much. Keep up the good work. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you next time.